Chicago PD responded to an incident on a cold winter Friday night. The date was January 21st, 2022 at 9 p.m. Paramedics and officers dispatched to the 9000 block of South Normal on the south side of Chicago found a 19-year-old male with wounds to his legs and upper body. The young man was with his girlfriend when he heard shots fired and felt pain. Both of them struck. He was then transported to Christ Medical Center, where authorities first reported that he was listed in good condition. His condition was updated to critical, and sometime after he passed away. The man was identified as 19-year-old Olaire Jones, also known as OJ. Detectives started their investigation and found that this was not just some street activity. This story was a lot different than they thought, and it involved a woman who OJ had a considerable amount of trust in. That's his girlfriend. Take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Click that notification bell for all updates. And if you're from Chicago, let us know below in the comments. OJ was only 19 years old. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he didn't get the memo, but he was dating a young baby mama. Not his baby mama, but this guy's baby mama. His girlfriend, 19-year-old Akia Sims, and her baby daddy, he's also 19 years old, Dion Evans. Akia and Dion, they maintain regular contact because of their kid. So what we're finding out here is that this thought pocket was doing more with her Pookie baby daddy than just talking about Infamil and Huggies. Apparently, the two young parents also talked about Akia's boyfriend, OJ, and they seemed to be very interested in OJ's gold chain. So they came up with a plan to jack OJ for his necklace. On Thursday, January 20th, a day before the incident, Dion, that's Akia's baby daddy, called one of his friends and told the friend about the plan that he and Akia had, and he basically needed the friend's help to lure OJ over to the friend's house. Dion told them to get the chain from OJ and have Akia walk out the back door with it. After telling the friend about the plan, Dion hung up the phone. That's when Akia followed up by sending a message to that same friend's phone with a photo of OJ's chain. The chain said Lil OJ on it. The next day, Friday, January 21st, that was the day. You know, Akia and Dion, they've been planning for this. So Akia and her boyfriend OJ, they showed up to the friend's house together. Akia, the whole time, she knew what was about to go down, but her boyfriend OJ had no clue. That's when another friend who had already heard about the plan stepped in to stop it. The friend told OJ and Akia to leave immediately, get away from there, and sent a message directly to Akia, warning her that they knew what she was up to with her baby daddy and threatened to call the police on them. So now they're leaving the house. OJ thought he and Akia was about to hang out at the friend's house, but those plans changed quickly when the friend told them to leave. The friend was trying to look out for OJ. So OJ drove a short distance up the road and stopped on Normal Avenue. As he sat in the car talking to Akia, a white SUV pulled up. You may wonder who was in the SUV. It was Akia's baby daddy Dion and another acquaintance. They both jumped out of the SUV, ran up to OJ's car, and fired several shots, striking OJ 6 times. Akia jumped out of OJ's car and got into the back of the white SUV with Dion. Dion and his friend went through OJ's belongings before they hopped back into the white SUV and sped off. Oh yeah, and Dion, he was able to snatch that chain he was looking for. Now you have Dion, who drove nearly 3 hours to take Akia home. She lives in Indianapolis. And then they took her to the hospital because they realized Akia was struck in the leg. So Dion ended up taking her to an area hospital to be treated. At the hospital, Akia told someone there that the original plan was to rob her boyfriend OJ, but the plan had changed. The entire incident was captured on surveillance video, and according to authorities, cell tower records placed Akia and Dion both at the scene. They also tracked their path from Chicago to Indianapolis together. As for OJ, all he knew was he heard the sounds and he felt pain. He spent his last moments with his girlfriend Akia, who was the mastermind along with her baby daddy Dion. She was behind all of this, and she was the one who set OJ up. They knew what they had in store for him, but OJ had no clue what they had planned. He didn't realize how dangerous it was for him to be dealing with a woman like Akia, who was also linked to a dangerous man who took his life all over a nameplate. Within weeks, U.S. Marshals found Deon all the way in Nashville, Tennessee. He headed down south. He was hiding out there in an attic of a home where he had a stash of evidence related to other incidents too. Deon had 3 guns, 2,000 rounds of ammunition, 22 credit cards, a money counter, $3,000 in cash, as well as 354 electronic vehicle keys. It was pretty easy to find Deon because he was on an ankle monitor sometime before he was released from jail after grand theft auto charges, and while he was out, he was being monitored electronically. Somehow he was able to continue his criminal activities and even took the life of OJ, all while supposedly being under supervision.
This is a story whose tentacles extend from Chicago to Indiana and down to Nashville, Tennessee, and they involve a suspect who police say went from stealing cars to committing murder. Police in the Music City found this murder suspect from the second city hiding in the attic of a home. Investigators say they found 19-year-old Deon Evans with an orchestra's worth of incriminating evidence, including 3 guns, 2,000 rounds of ammunition, 22 credit cards, a money counter, and $3,000 in cash. The Great Lakes Fugitive Task Force tracked Evans to Nashville, where Deputy U.S. Marshals also found 354 vehicle key fobs in his possession. In November, WGN Investigates showed you how thieves were able to steal cars without having access to the owner's keys. Law enforcement sources say they can do it by reprogramming key fobs like the ones found in Evans' possession, which the head of the Secretary of State's Auto Theft Task Force told us in November can be lucrative.
It's a lot easier for a thief to steal a vehicle or 2 vehicles and make $50,000 a month on offering it up on Craigslist.
Deon Evans has a history of capers with stolen cars. East Chicago, Indiana police arrested him last year after 2 pursuits involving stolen vehicles. He reportedly told officers he could fetch $10,000 a car. Evans was charged with 3 counts of auto theft, then released on electronic monitoring. Law enforcement sources tell me it was while Evans was on electronic monitoring for those stolen car cases in Indiana that he's suspected of being involved in a murder in January here in Chicago.
The white SUV he was driving, it was registered in Deon's mother's name, and they also found OJ's gold chain in his possession. And then a month later, after they found Deon hiding in that attic in Nashville, Tennessee, they finally went looking for a Kia, which happened to be exactly 2 months after the incident on Monday, March 21st. Akia was arrested at her home in Indianapolis. She was extradited to Chicago, where she's now being held without bail on charges of first-degree murder and armed robbery. Deon is obviously a very dangerous young man. You have to be careful of these women you deal with because they may be connected to a Pookie baby daddy like Deon. Akia, she was really entertaining both of them, and she set OJ up, who trusted her to a certain extent, costing him his life. I really don't think OJ knew he was involved with Bonnie and Clyde. It's a very, very sad story. R.I.P. to OJ, sending my condolences to his family. Since they don't have capital punishment in Illinois, I think Deon and Akia both deserve life without parole. Something tells me that Deon will get it, but Akia will probably try to argue that the plan had changed and that she didn't know it was going to happen. Some prosecutor may offer her a deal, so by the time she's in her 30s, she'll be back out on the streets and possibly up to more evil plans to destroy more lives. That's what people like Akia and Deon are programmed to do. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started below in the comments. Do you believe that Akia should get the same punishment as Deon? Or do you believe her story where she said the plan had changed? Make sure you support this channel. The links to Cash App and PayPal are below. The like button is free, so go ahead and give it a thumbs up and don't forget to share.